All right, back on the Honda 185S. Been playing with the timing, getting ready to do an oil change, and figured it's a good time to put one of these hour meters on it. I've used these in the past on jet skis, boat, generator. Got one on my dirt bike over here and another BSA. It's in here. I want to put one on one of the bikes I'm working on. Also, obviously, the Honda. But yeah, it's like a lot of this stuff's from China. But I got a bracket here off eBay, and I got another Tusk one laying around here. And it looks, it's got the Tusk package, but it's probably from the same. Well, not the same place. It's gonna be a little bit bigger. Yeah, a little bit bigger. But I'm gonna go with the. Gotta decide on color here. Gotta see where I'm gonna put it. Not a whole lot of options here. Guess we're just gonna go with one of those handlebar bolts. Get that pulled out there. All right, I think I'm gonna go with the just a raw aluminum one for silver. Gonna have to see what I got for hardware. Maybe a cap screw that I could trim the head down real kind of flush with that bracket. Get the meter to sit flush on there. Definitely rather do that than run to the hardware store. Organization, not one of my strong points. Took a while to find that bucket of hardware. Hopefully we can find something here that'll work. Yeah, gold, I'm telling you. Like I was saying, gold, right? So you're gonna cut those ones a little shorter, or I'm gonna shave the heads down on the other cap screws on the right side there. See how it goes. All right, maybe hard to tell, but yeah, you can kind of see it. Where that hole is, it's thinner on the red one, and this button head fits in there a lot better with the washer on it. So I'm going to cut this bolt down. These other ones were too short, so I'll cut that longer one down to the other size of the original bolt. All right, I ran that bolt in there just to give me an idea how much I'm going to take off. It's bottomed. Threads feel good, same pitch, all that, so it'll work out well. All right, comparing the old bolt and the thickness of that bracket, that's a good amount there to cut off. I'd rather cut a little off at a time than too much. Now a hacksaw could work just as well as a grinder, but I'll use a grinder to speed it up, and same goes for cleaning it up. You could use a file versus a bench grinder. There, nice cut. And I always try to grab the end piece. Those things are kind of hot. Kind of keep an eye on where they fall. Definitely if you're out here in your flip-flops or barefoot, you don't want to step on one of them. All right, quick cleanup on the grinder, the bench grinder that is, and I'm going to back that nut off there. After running that nut down there a few times, threads look good, feel pretty good. I'm going to go test it out in the headset there. Put a little Loctite on the bolt. Yeah, so they got this is kind of a template here you can use if you're gonna mount it different. See, I've got this on another bike over here. It's mounted up on a part that would be used to route the cables, which we don't use. And I think this is another Tusk bracket, maybe. Yeah, that wouldn't work on the three-wheeler. But yeah, these brackets, you can make your own with that template. These things are fairly cheap. I think even the Tusk one was maybe $1 or $2 more than this copycat one. All right, enough yakking about it. Let's get it screwed down. All right, that only took about 20 minutes. Got that mounted. Funny how these little things, start dragging out. And it happens. Let's get the wire fed into that gauge. The instructions show it doesn't matter which way you feed the wire to the gauge. Whichever side you prefer. Not much to it. Push the wire down in the groove. So I think it's the upper screws I'm going to screw this down to in that bracket. put a little Loctite on the little screws too. Also, the longevity of these brackets, not brackets, excuse me, these gauges. I got one that's been on a generator probably close to 15 years. I think usually they say they last 10 years, but I got one I say like it's at least 15 years old. The generator does stay in here, so it's not out in the cold. It was for a little bit in my other house, but or on riding trips on snowmobiles, but not for real extended period or anything. So yeah, these gauges come with those screws too. So if you want to screw it down like the plastic on a generator, like a cover, that works out well also. Well, all right, let's get the gauge mounted. All right, got the gauge mounted there. Good thing to use the Loctite. Those screws are pretty small. Probably can't take a lot of torque. The Loctite for insurance. Got the cable routed to where there's no interference. It's real close right there. Yep, just barely room. Let's play with that a little bit. Anyhow, got it snaked. Can't really tell right there, but hey, come down here, just follow it along there. You can see where it's at. Well, yeah, kind of ran out of time here. Took longer than I thought. Fired up tomorrow and check the timing with the tack on there. Get the oil changed, and had a dwell meter with the tack on it, just wasn't cooperating. So hopefully this is good to add an hour meter, and it's got the tack combo. So we'll see how that works tomorrow. All right, back on the old 185S. Got distracted with snowmobiles for about almost 2 months there. See, our idle is 1400 plus or minus 100. All models there. Or the 200X is, I think it said 1300. Anyhow, here we are, 1400. And we're looking for the F. See right there. Let's go fire it up. Got it warmed up in the yard here real quick, doing some donuts. As you can tell, there ain't much snow left. All right, got my timing light right up here. With my ignition wire. She is warmed up. Got that hooked up to just one of those cheap battery tenders because this ain't got a battery. It's yeah, quick little donuts out there. Fire right up. All right, on the timing here, that light, it was very hard to be able to film that. Anyhow, you got it at 1400, and you can see the verbiage here. Shine a light in the window, pull the trigger, timing light. Mine just runs when it's hooked up. There you have that mark there, F for fire, and you have that notch in the case. Top one was 200X. This is the all other models right there. I'll go show you on the bike. All right, the timing plug's still out. I wheeled it around to where the F is lined up, the mark the magneto, the F for fire. It's lined up with the groove in the case there. Thinking this might show up, might not. We shall see. Kind of like doing the timing light didn't show up earlier, you know. Yeah, the F mark for fire lines up with your groove here in the case, and you can see it with the timing light as it goes by when it's at idle. All right, time to change the oil. It's the 24 mil plug right there. We'll grab a catch pan. Got the ignition off. Not like anybody's gonna start it. Taking out the dipstick. Loosen up there. Gonna run a this Mobile Racing 1040 here. It's synthetics for street bikes, clutches. 1040 is your widest pan there. So I've never done the oil on this. We'll start with a really clean pan here. See if what comes out of it. Well, of course, we got a little bit of water in there, or snow, I should say. There's a spring. Got the plug out. Gotta pull that spring out of there. The whole water thing, not real big issues. Mainly concerned for looking for metal or whatnot. You know, glitter. All right, got a little screen there. Gonna get that cleaned up. This mentions, you know, it's gonna take a quart. It says, excuse me. The 2 quarts for engine disassembly, oil change 1 quart. Also talks about kicking it through or pulling the pull starter a couple times. And I'm like, okay. But anyhow, yeah, then it goes caution. Do not let the engine start and run. Make sure your ignition switch is off. Yeah, no kidding. Anyhow, gotta get this mess cleaned up. I'm running out of real estate, man. Gotta get back on this other bike project too, get that engine together. So yeah, get this cleaned up and get some oil in. All right, got that filter screen cleaned up. Same with the cap, you know. Brake cleaner, gloves, more PPE. You want to be that guy at the shop that, you know, retires and, you know, kicks the bucket 6 weeks later. Anyhow, stuff's nasty. Wear your gloves. I used some compressed air too and blew it out after I flushed with the brake cleaner. But yeah, I'm going to stick that back in there. Well, looks to be done dripping. It's fairly clean in there. Yeah, there's the setup. That's how she's going in. That O-ring is probably original, but we're gonna reuse it. It's not cut, it's not damaged, looks good, lasts a long time. Interesting, the capacities for the engine oil is not listed in the specs, it's listed in here. Basically a quart. And yeah, specifications, you know, just kicking the can here. You know, you got your gaps for your plugs and whatnot, tire pressure, torque specs for the suspension and frame, oil capacity, yeah, for forks, don't need that, drive chain replacement numbers, torque specs continued, and light bulbs. Cool. All right, yeah, I'm used to seeing oil capacities and specifications. That's different. All right, I'm gonna pour that stuff in. All right, examine the oil real quick here. So far everything looks good. Now that pine needle got in there in my engine, but anyhow, you got that in and tight. We're good. We'll go over to the other side here. Took the old dipstick out. It goes there. There's the funnel. Pretty cool red line funnel. And see, it takes a quart. I'm not going to dump the whole quart in, but I'm going to get close to it, start it, let it warm up, and check it. All right, it's about halfway up that stick without running it. I got that much in there. Probably safe to say I'm okay with putting the rest in. These guys at Honda know what they're doing, right? All right, dump the rest of the quart in. Focus. Oh, hey. Anyhow, dripped on the floor there. fire it up, see where it's at. Alright, no leaks. They bring that down a scope. I kind of like a little bit more of a lope to it. Yeah, I can screwdrive it. Alright, it's always good to do a leak check. I just ran it. Pulled the stick out, had oil on it, put it back in here, see where we're at. Alright, about halfway mark there. That's good. You know, I first pulled it out originally after running it. The stick was covered pretty good. Wiped it off, stuck it back in. She's in a happy spot. Yeah, I need to stick that plug back in, but fire this off real quick. Kind of like to keep the idle around 1,000 or so. I know it says 1,400, but and I mentioned that was a Honda Docker. It's a climber. I'm sure it's the same specs, but that's a 720. Anyhow, I like to have a little bit of lope. Good 1,400 is a little high. Yeah, I play at that idle a little bit. Anyhow. Yeah, just water in there, no metal. Everything looks good. I'd like to put it back in the container. Looks like about a quart. Then, you know, a little Zach tip, you know, if you're a auto parts store. Oil thing says they're full, you know, that little quart there, you just drop in the trash can at the front door, right? I was kidding, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, get your stuff empty, come on. Yeah, if you like what you see, and feel free to drop a comment, like and subscribe. I'll get back on the old BSE here shortly. Little rascal's gonna get off the bus, and we're gonna go do some donuts with this thing with whatever snow we got left. Take her easy. Have a good weekend.